What a road performance by the Toronto Raptors as they win in overtime. Shouldn't have got there. We'll get to it in a second. But they do beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 123-114. Before I start the video off, I have to say, if Tony Brothers officiates a Raptors playoff game, which I'm assuming at some point he will, Lord help us, we got to put on our construction boots and our helmets because it's going to be a dogfight and it's going to be a bloodbath because he's going to let it happen. I'm sorry. I don't like gripping officials. You guys know this. But when it's blatantly obvious for an entire quarter, it's hard to miss, ain't it? Now, before we get to the fourth quarter shenanigans, let's get to the first three, where the Raptors dominated play. First quarter, Raptors shooting the lights out of the ball, shooting 70%, and up by 8, 39-31. You're feeling good early on. The building is quiet. You're feeling great. Second quarter, it's 24 apiece. You don't really get anywhere. You're still plus 8 at the half, though. We'll take it. You want to come out in the third and establish yourself offensively and continue to dig in defensively. And the Raptors did that. They scored 29. You only allowed 23. The Raptors in the second and third quarter allowed a total of 47 points. That is a recipe for a win. You guys can do the math now. Raptors up by 14 at the half. Or sorry, at the end of 3 quarters of play. Now let's get to the fourth quarter. And something we don't see too often, Kawhi Leonard actually starts the fourth quarter on the floor. Very odd. But I'm okay with it because it's more time with Kawhi Leonard that we get to watch, and I'm okay with that. But the problem is, Kawhi Leonard coming into the game averages 7.4 free throws per game. You know how many he had today, excluding the one gimme one he had at the end? Where is he here? Yeah, excluding that one gimme because it was the and one that got called when you were already up by 8 in overtime. Excluding that in real hardcore times, he had a total of 4. Now, I'm not saying he has to get 7 or else I'm going to be angry. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's if you watch the fourth quarter and are watching Kawhi get hammered on the arm by 2 guys on one drive, you're like, what is this? Watching him get almost basically pushed out of bounds. Watching him get hammered left and right and get nothing. I mean, nothing. It baffles me. And watching Danny Green get it nice and tight to Paul George and have his, when George goes up, yeah, it's Danny Green that hits in the nose or hit in the mouth. And that is 3 free throws in a 5-point game. Or I guess at the time it was an 8-point game. Or maybe. Anyways, you guys can go back and watch and see where it happened. And then why Marc Gasol late in the game? How is he getting called for a foul? He's getting dragged down by Steven Adams. Then Westbrook comes flying in for the rebound and hits him. And Marc Gasol gets the foul for it. Meanwhile, Kawhi is trying to get anything going, trying to drive, get any sort of contact. And he's getting nothing. And I'm just standing here like, what does this guy have to do? Does he have to break a limb to get a call here? It is ridiculous. You know, and then we get into overtime. And the good news for Raptor fans is Paul George didn't play well and didn't play a whole lot because he got in foul trouble and ended up fouling out in the game late in the fourth quarter. You guys know what that means. We go to overtime. He is not playing, and the Raptors exploit that totally. With Nick Nurse and the coaching staff, I know people love to bash Nick Nurse, and people love bashing coaches in general. Everyone bashes Mike Babcock. When Casey was here, people bashing him. People hated John Gibbons. You know, I mean, everyone hates Nick Nurse. Everyone hates coaches when things aren't going right. But what happened in the overtime, so Paul George ain't on the floor. Who's going to beat you? Russell Westbrook. So he's like, all right, we're going to make him a passer. And that's exactly what they do. And they win the fourth quarter, or sorry, win the overtime quarter, 13-4. And the Raptors come away with the overtime victory. Pascal Siakam was awesome. You know, a couple games ago, he was having a tough little stretch there, not shooting the ball that well, not playing Pascal, forcing it too much. Today, 33 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists on 14 of 21 shooting, 4 of 4 from the line. He gives you a couple steals. He gives you a block as well. And the thing I love about Pascal, in overtime, he was dealing with 5 fouls for a little while. So he played a little bit tentative, didn't try, oh no, sorry, I think he got the 5th foul on the charge that got taken, excuse me. But anyways, you guys can count the fouls and all that stuff. But all I know is that in overtime, he is playing with 5 fouls, playing tentative, but getting the job done. Kawhi Leonard didn't shoot the ball that great, but you know what? I don't care. He had a double-double, 22 and 10. He had 6 assists as well. And he made a huge jump shot in overtime, and he got the and one in overtime to seal the deal. Now, as much as those two guys were amazing, Fred VanVleet, in the 3 games that he has been back, has been second to none, incredible. 23 points in the game today and 6 assists. He shot 8 of 16 from the field. He shot 3 of 8 from 3. He got a couple steals in the game. He was a dog. And Danny Green just is like, who are we playing? OKC? That doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to do my thing. He fires up 17 points, 5 boards, 6 assists as well. And this is all without Kyle Lowry, may I add. And let me go through the starting lineup real quick here. Again, without Kyle Lowry, Siakam 6 assists, Kawhi Leonard 6 assists, Gasol with 2, VanVleet and Danny Green with 6 assists. You're telling me 4 of the 5 starters had 6 assists each? Ball movement, making your shots. That was the recipe. Now the ball did stop moving in the fourth quarter. What happened? You didn't score. There you go. Not really much production from the bench, guys, except for Serge Ibaka. It's good to have him back there. Also, if you guys, follow Serge Ibaka closely on social medias, you would have seen the video about some Kawhi Leonard. You know, the question on how hungry are you? You guys read into that or anything? I mean, would Kawhi let him post that if it wasn't true? I don't know. Anyways, you guys can go for that all you guys want. But in the game today, he struggled shooting. He only shot 1 of 4, did Serge Ibaka. But he did give you 9 rebounds, and he did block a couple shots as well. Again, it's his first game back in a little while. He played 23 minutes. He almost got you 10 rebounds. That's okay. I'm all right with Serge for that. You know, Jeremy Lin gave you 6 off the bench in 15 minutes. OG Anunoby gave you 6 off the bench as well. Again, as much as the bench didn't make a huge impact, you look at the minutes the starters lodged. Siakam with 42, Kawhi with 42, Gasol had 30, VanVleet with 40, and Danny Green with 36. Now, that's beautiful. And it's the first game of the home-and-home against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Russell Westbrook was amazing in tonight's game, but he didn't have any supporting cast. Yes, Dennis Schroeder had 17 points, I think it was, but he shot like 5 of 16. That's terrible. And George only had 13 and fouled out. He was bad. Paul George was bad, in the game today. I mean, you know what Paul George is going to give you on the defensive end. But he got 19. I don't know why I saw 13. But he shot 6 of 14. They didn't get anything going. Steven Adams usually, he's usually money for them. Isn't he averaging like, 14 a game and 9.6 rebounds a game? He only had 4.7 boards in 40 minutes. Spit bubble. You guys know what that is. But if we're gonna take any negatives and kind of move on from it, it's one thing: rebounds. That is the one thing I want to say about this game that was not very good at all. Yes, the Raptors out-rebounded them in total, 52-48. But the offensive rebounds was a big problem. Even in overtime, the first minute of overtime was in the Raptors side of the half court because they couldn't grab a defensive rebound. The Oklahoma City Thunder, at least what I got right here in front of me, there could be more, 16 offensive rebounds to the Raptors 6. That's not good. And the fact that they were getting second chance points, it kills you as well. But you do find a way to win in overtime, even with the officials having the whistle shoved up right up the rectum and not doing anything to help. Without Kyle Lowry and Serge Ibaka, after being away for 3 games, getting back into the lineup, it's great to see this team come away with a victory in Oklahoma City. You kept that crowd quiet, and that is not easy to do. You did that. You went in there, you struggled and made it go into overtime, but you closed it out and got the win. The Raptors have now won 2 straight games. Win number 51 on the year. 51 and 21 are the Toronto Raptors on the season. And in the next game, you see the same team you saw tonight, Oklahoma City, as they come to Toronto to take on the Raptors. A 7:30 tip-off, thank God. No, not a 9:30 game. 7:30 tip-off there at Scotiabank Arena on Friday night. Alright, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys enjoyed the game today. Smack that like button. I do appreciate that. And the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below, guys. What'd you think of the game? What'd you think of the video? Your thoughts on Tony Brothers and the officiating staff from tonight's game. Also, your MVP from tonight's game. You can give it to Kawhi, because he had a double-double and 6 assists. You get to give it to Siakam, who was incredible. 33 points on ridiculously good shooting, and he got you a double-double as well. You give it to Fred VanVleet, who's been the court general since whenever Kyle Lowry's not on the floor. You can also give it to Danny Green, who I thought was really good in his time. Your guys' thoughts, all right? Let me know in the comments below, guys. Even Marc Gasol, I didn't even mention him in the video, but again, he didn't have a big game. But he gave you 10 points, 6 rebounds, a couple assists in 30 minutes, 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3. He got you a block. He was a plus 11 on the floor. You're telling me that's no good? What he did was good. All right? I want to hear your guys' thoughts towards this game, your MVP, all that great stuff. And Evan and I will talk to you guys podcast edition tomorrow afternoon. Link is in the description for the podcast channel and for the podcast itself on iTunes. Twitter is also down below. Follow up. Send me a DM. Do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Blue Jays edition tomorrow, late afternoon, early evening, after the Blue Jays game. Tomorrow, Jays edition in the final spring training video of the year. Before we do the season preview, the day before the season gets going, and then right into the ball games, starting a week tomorrow. All right, so we'll be talking to you tomorrow, Blue Jays edition, guys. Just a heads up there. As for the Leafs, their next game, like we talked about in the Leaf video, if you guys did not check that out, go check it out. That'd be awesome if you guys can do so. The Leafs take on the New York Rangers at Scotiabank Arena. The Leafs are going to build on today's very, very good win against the Buffalo Sabres in Buffalo. Henrik Lundqvist, Frederik Andersen are the expected starters in that game. It's a 7 o'clock puck drop. Would not surprise me if Georgiev, whatever the heck his name is in the net, because last time the Leafs faced him, I think he shut us out. But anyways, as for the Toronto Raptors, guys, like we've talked about, their next game is Friday night at Scotiabank Arena as the Raptors welcome in the same Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a home and home. The second night of the home and home is on Friday. Raptors take this one tonight. And 7:30 tip-off there at Scotiabank Arena. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you guys then.